Are you guys ready? Because guess what? Come here. Come here. Come here. Guess what? I'm frying chicken. Okay, today I'm going to show you guys something that is really close to my heart. This is something that I used to do a lot with my mom, with my grandmother. It's something that just brings back really good memories, and it's plain and simple, fried chicken. So there are a lot of ways that you could do this, but I'm going to show you guys a really basic, bare bones way that is still going to be delicious. So let's get started. Alright, so I've got my chicken here that has been cleaned. If you saw my oxtails video, it's the same process with the vinegar and the lemon. I'm using chicken legs and thighs. You can use whatever cut of chicken you want. I also have some wings that I'm going to be throwing in as well. I'm also going to use some seasoning salt. Now you can use normal iodized salt, maybe sea salt, but get some of this stuff here. It's really going to make a difference. This is what I always use. This is my base. So seasoning salt or seasoned salt. First of all, dear Lori's, your product is called seasoning salt. I know what you put on the bottle, but that's wrong. I speak for all black people, we've decided. We're also going to use some black pepper, some garlic powder, some onion powder, some paprika, and because I like my chicken spicy, I'm going to use some cayenne pepper. If you can tell, I've used pretty much all of the cayenne pepper in the bottle. There's just a little bit at the bottom. I'm going to use as much of that as I can. Alright? We've also got some oil. I'm using refined sunflower oil because that's what I could find. Normally I use vegetable or canola or peanut. Use one of those, something with a high smoke point and a neutral flavor. So I'm going with this for today, and you're also going to need some flour. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this oil into my Dutch oven, which I bought specifically for frying things, right? And because we're deep frying today, we're going to use a lot. I want to go at least halfway up the pot, okay? So I've got my oil in the pot. I'm going to turn the stove on, and we want to put this on like medium-high heat, okay? That is the wrong eye. Oh Lord. Make sure you use the correct eye on the stove. My stove goes up to 9. I'm going to put this chicken on about 7. That should be good, all right? Now, the next thing we got to do is season our chicken. Because no one likes what, Daniela?
Bland food.
Bland food, good. So, the first thing I start with is the seasoning salt. And I don't measure, you know? I just go until it looks right. I've been doing this for a while. It's just a matter of trial and error. If you cook something one day and it wasn't salty enough, the next time you know, use more salt. If it had too much salt on it, the next time you know, just use a little bit less and you'll get better at eyeballing. So we're going to use all of this. Okay, the onion and the paprika. Alright, now you want to take your left hand, or whatever hand was not used to touch your spices and stuff, and you're just going to get in there and mix it all around. Make sure it's all nice and coated. Okay? You want to get the seasoning on all sides of the chicken. Use gloves if you want to, if you have a thing about touching raw meat, but I don't, so. Just gonna use a little bit more of the salt. Not much. lot more of the black pepper because that's what I like. If you guys want to use freshly ground black pepper, do you know, do what you want to do. If you want to use other spices, other seasonings, play with it, you know, experiment, but just season your food. And then I'm going to use all of what's left of my cayenne pepper. Let's see if I can get it out of the bottle. Set that aside for right now. In addition to seasoning your chicken, the next thing you want to do is season your flour. We're going to use the same seasonings. So I'm going to use some of my seasoning salt. Okay. Some of the onion. The garlic. Paprika. And if you have smoked paprika, use that. It'll give it a nice smoky flavor. And the black pepper, of course. See if I can get something out of this bottle with the cayenne. And your flour will look like that. So just gonna take a fork, mix it all up. Ready to go. We're gonna take our chicken pieces and we're gonna fry them in batches. So we don't want to put all of the chicken in this pot. It's never gonna fry that way. We're gonna use maybe 4, I'd say no more than 5 pieces at a time. So you're gonna take them, roll them in the flour. Some people do an egg wash, and the egg wash will help the breading kind of stick to the chicken. It's really not 100% necessary. If you want to do it, cool. But today I'm showing you the easiest way to do this, okay? Okay. Now, one thing important to note when you fry chicken, you don't want to fry cold chicken. You don't want to take it from the refrigerator and put it straight into the oil or season it or whatever. Because if it's too cold, your oil, the temperature is going to drop and it's not going to fry evenly. So you do want to let it sit out for about half an hour before you fry it, okay? Okay, and once your chicken is all coated, you know, shake off some of the excess. You don't need the excess on there. We're gonna take this over to our oil and hope that the oil is hot enough. Okay. So let's see. If you want to use tongs, but hey. It's not hot enough for my liking, so I'm sacrificing that chicken leg. I'm gonna let that chicken leg fry, and we'll come back and throw the rest of the chicken in there. So the oil is popping, a little bit louder. It's ready, so I'm gonna throw the rest of my chicken in there. Okay, listen to what it sounds like when it goes in. Be careful, don't burn yourself. Okay, so I'm gonna check those in about 15 minutes and then we'll see what they look like. Alright, so I'm gonna show you guys something really quick. I don't have a meat thermometer, so I don't know how to gauge the internal temperature of the chicken. But there's one cool trick to know how chicken is done when you're deep frying it. So come take a look at this. See, one of the pieces is starting to float. When the chicken floats to the top, it's done. After that, it's just a matter of how crispy or how dark you want it on the outside. Alright, so let's take a look at this chicken, alright? So we're gonna lift up the top, and you see that chicken is floating. It is ready to come out. Now, it would be best to rest your chicken onto a wire rack so that the oil can drain. I don't have one of those, so I'm gonna do the old-fashioned trick. It's worked for years. Plate with paper towels. Okay? But if you put it on a wire rack, it'll keep the chicken nice and crispy. As you can see, I finally got some tongs, so I'm not using my fingers or random little forks. Tongs work best. Use some tongs, guys. Alright, so I've got a couple of pieces of chicken on a plate along with some mashed potatoes and some gravy that I mixed up. And Daniela is going to be giving it a try. I was going to do some vegetables as well, but I changed my mind. So.
Great. So I'm going to start, well, with the fried chicken. It's the star of the show.
And please do it with your hands. Don't do it with a fork.
I love the crispiness. I can really taste all the spices. It's so juicy. Me encanta.
Le encanta. Alright, so that is how I did my fried chicken. Like I said, there's a lot of different ways to do it, and I'll probably experiment with some ways in the future. But if you do it the way I did it, you're going to have great tasting fried chicken. Now, that's all I have for you today, so I'll see you guys next time, okay? Peace.